Fight Live returns to Channel 5 this Friday. Two of Britain's most exciting super lightweights collide at London's legendary York Hall. Don't miss Eubank vs Farrell this Friday on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Omar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at the final press conference of Parker v Ryder at the O2 this Saturday night. Glad to see they sent the main man down here. I thought you'd be at the Dillian Whyte presser.
More incognito, aren't I? Sort of hide in the background. Now, I want to come down here to support John. It's a massive fight for him, and looking forward to a big win from him for Saturday.
Of course, a busy weekend in London. All four major promoters are going this weekend. Obviously, on the Saturday, yourselves and Queensberry are going. Is there going to be a conversation about avoiding Parker v Ryder and White v Franklin to clash at the same time?
I'll be honest with you, it's difficult because of the schedules of the show, and we're all working against the same thing, curfews at venues. So it's hard really to say we'll have an hour gap here or we'll have as great as it sounds to do something like that. I think it's going to be tough in truth.
Fair enough. As you said, a huge fight, Parker v Ryder. Obviously, your guy, John Ryder, has been at the top level. If he does come through this in a very tough fight, do you believe Canelo Alvarez will fight the winner of this fight, or do you think he vacates and moves on to maybe a Bivol rematch?
No, I think Canelo's focus is obviously coming back in May and then fighting Bivol in September. John Ryder's definitely a name that has been discussed with him. Eddie speaks to Canelo and Eddie Reynoso often about what's next, but John Ryder's definitely a name that's been mentioned there a few times for sure. Let's see how things play out.
Frank, I'm not going to say relationships between the promoters and specifically Matchroom and Queensberry are perfect, but it does seem to be going in a very positive direction. Obviously, you're here today. You've got this fight over the line with Queensberry. So moving into 2023, are we potentially and hopefully going to see more deals being done between Matchroom and Queensberry? Yeah,
look, for sure. And it's not just Matchroom and Queensberry, it's everyone working together. I think ultimately, as we've always said, the key is if it makes sense for the fighter involved, take ego out of it, take our business, ultimately it has to make sense for the fighter. And if opportunities are right, then, from both sides, whether that's a Queensberry fighter fighting on our show or a boxer fighting on our show, or we work with Wasserman very often, we work with Golden Boy all the time, Top Rank, we're willing to work together, and ultimately it's for the good of the sport to make the biggest fights.
Frank, I mean, the case might have been where it would have been right for your fighters or Queensberry's fighters in the past, but I don't think we had as much dialogue and, communication before. It just seems like from the outside it's increased recently. Why do you think that is?
I think obviously the discussions initially we had around the Fury fight with George Warren started those, that relationship. And then from there we went on and then looked at other opportunities. So, I don't know, maybe it's a case of just the right characters ultimately working together in different areas.
Right, just moving from one London press conference to another, we've just seen the altercation between Team Franklin and Team White. I know you've had a quick glance at it. What did you make of it?
I think Dimitri Salita pushed Dillian Whyte, which I'm not sure why. I've got no signal, so I don't know what's happened there.
You're going to have to run over and push Franklin now.
No, I'm not pushing anyone. I'm soft. At least Dimitri used to fight. I'm too soft, mate. I'm not getting involved with that.
Frank, just moving away from this, I know you've got to go. We'll have to ask you about Lawrence Okolie's Instagram post the other day. He said that he's coming for everyone and he's prepared to spend as much money in legal battles to get his side of things, if you like. So what did you make of Lawrence's post?
Look, it's obviously disappointing because I think, we've done a great job. He's done a great job. AJ Boxing 258 done a great job to get him where he was. What we delivered. Ultimately, it's always a shame when you have a relationship with someone that it doesn't go or end the way it should do. But, it's not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last. But, it is disappointing. We're very confident and comfortable in our position that we've taken. But, ultimately, I think Eddie said it, the two of them could sit down and discuss it. But we've put a lot of work and effort into Lawrence Okolie. And, for someone to come in and interfere with that's it's out of our control. But we're confident in our position and we believe we've done a great job. So let's see how things play out.
Current standings with Conor Benn?
Conor Benn ongoing. He's dealing with his legal situation. Like I say, I think I say the same thing every couple of weeks. Ultimately, I would love to come out with more details, as would he. We'd love to come and talk, but he's got to deal with his legal situation in the right way. That is going to determine, the rest of his career, not doing some interviews. He's working hard. The team are working hard that he's got, and hopefully there'll be some news soon.
I know you and Eddie and Kalle Sauer have been sort of adamant about you guys legally could not cancel that bout. If you had gone to insurers about that and said there could be a potential health risk involved because of what's happened and your knowledge of the 2 failed tests, could that have altered your positioning in cancelling the fight, i.e. the promoters? Could that have?
I mean, ultimately, that's the British Boxing Board of Control's job, and that's the decision they made. That's the position they took. Their job is to ensure the sport is safe in the UK, and they made that decision. It may have been just for that reason, it may have been other reasons. But safety is always paramount to us. It always will be. But I think there's still a lot to come out and a lot to be said.
Last one, do you think Anthony Joshua will be attending White v Franklin?
Maybe, I don't know. Waiting to find out, actually. Let's see. I mean, it'd be interesting. Maybe we can jump in the ring afterwards.
Frank, I know you've got to go, so thank you for your time, all right?
Cheers, mate. Good to see you.
Fight Live returns to Channel 5 this Friday. 2 of Britain's most exciting super lightweights collide at London's legendary York Hall. Don't miss Eubank vs Farrell this Friday on Channel 5.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife for saying completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.